since then that I don't even know where to start. But first I'll fix the moon in the background a little bit. Okay, that's better. Also you can see the sun there a little bit. That's the weird shadow. Alright, let's start. Okay, there's just so much to unpack here. But first, I'll give you a bit more information about the cult because a lot came out in the press. I'll correct some information from the last video and then I'll jump into what happened afterwards. So, first thing, by the way, we're talking about Belinda, the lady that passed away during childbirth. That was messed up. There was a doula with no medical background that didn't call for help. That's just a very quick summary of the past events. So, first, let's talk about this cult leader. Because, oh boy. So, first, he has a history of homelessness, and it's like a willing homelessness. Sometimes people can end up in bad situations, just life just happens. But with him, from my understanding, he ended up being homeless because he just refuses to work. He believes that everything should just be handed to him. He does not believe in work in society. He does not believe in contributing to society. He thinks that he is here to spread love and everyone should just give him money and food and everything. And those who refuse to do so, he wishes death on them. Yes, that's an exact quotation. So on one hand he claims to spread love, but everyone who is not willing to listen to him deserves to, well, not be alive, basically. Well, that's not all, because he also has history of, and I don't know if I can say this on YouTube because I don't want to get censored, but of DV or DA. He believes that every woman is possessed by this entity called Grey Woman or Grey Hag. I'm going to translate this directly as Grey Hag. Okay, grey as in the color grey, and hag as this ugly woman. Okay. And he believes that all women can talk to this ugly, malevolent creature. That I can't even stay serious. That's just like how stupid this sounds, but that he believes that when women acts out or when women do something that he does not like, that means that they're possessed by the Grey Hag, and it needs to be beat out of them. just in reference to his ex-wife, he believes that every single woman that's in the cult as well is being possessed by this grey hag. Okay, more information also came out about Belinda, and I called him her husband. Actually, they were never married, and we need a name. I did not name him last time, so let's call him Mark. So Belinda was supposed to have a baby with Mark, and we all know how that happened. She passed away during the messed up childbirth. So the house that the cult is living in actually technically belongs to Mark, but does not really. Here's what happened. Mark has a brother. Their parents passed away, and 50% of the house went to Mark. 50% of the house went to Mark's brother. There is also a mortgage on the house that technically should be paid, half and half, right? Mark should pay half. Mark's brother should pay half. However, Mark does not work. He has no money whatsoever. So Mark's brother has to pay for everything, even though only 50% of the house belongs to him. Mark's brother is also not associated with the cult in any way. In fact, he's very bothered by this whole situation. And this cult is just living in his house, rent free. They don't pay a single dime. But what sucks is that the bank, right, the mortgage has to be paid, and if Mark's brother would refuse to pay it, they're not going to come after Mark because he has nothing. The bank would come after Mark's brother's assets. Yes, the person that actually works, that actually contributes to society. And there were legal proceedings. In fact, Mark, the dumbass, shared the court documents on his Facebook. He then later deleted it. And he's talking about how money should not get in the way of family relationships. Just shut up, dude. Come on. He's living in this house rent free that technically belongs to him as well, but he pays nothing around the house, right? Mark's brother cannot live in this house, and of course the court ordered Mark to pay Mark's brother the money for half of the mortgage, but Mark is just I have no money, so F off. And that's it. That's all that the court can do. And the fact that Mark's brother, I don't even know what they can do in this situation, because when it comes to squatters, which they are, the cult are squatters, they have unfortunately a lot of rights. And I don't think that Mark's brother can just come in and be get out, especially when there's this big group of people that can be violent. And even the police, if Mark's brother would get police involved, half of the house still belongs to Mark legally, so they cannot do anything. That's when you accidentally report a bomb and send a SWAT team. Shh, I did not tell you this. I did not give you this advice, noob. Of course, then, that's another thing, if it's a false alarm, but I honestly don't know what Mark's brother can do in this situation, and it's absolutely infuriating. He cannot live in there. It's still, the house belongs to him, but he cannot do jack shit about it. Okay, next, Belinda. So I mentioned that Belinda used to be a nurse. She was not working anymore because she was on disability benefits. I don't know for what reason, but yeah. to keep her around because that was free money. She was getting money every month for doing nothing, right? But she said that before she gave birth and passed away, that she would like to leave the cult. And of course, the cult leader did not like that information, right? And, I found a Facebook post that's old, and I think now it's all deleted, made by Belinda, and I wanted to read it to you, but honestly, it's just so disturbing. But okay, I'll read you an excerpt. So this was from April 2024, and she talks about, thanks to she calls Mark her husband, but they were never married. Thanks to my quote-unquote husband, I should say boyfriend, I've been on the path of light for 14 months. My boyfriend was the brave one who said yes to life and selflessly offered his house to the cult leader. Obviously there's a name, but I cannot read it. Selflessly offered his house. It's not even technically his house. Get out of here with that. Very soon we discovered that we were not living authentically, and our lives began to change. As a former nurse, I very soon experienced firsthand that all education and all of our systems, both medical and social, are not built on love, but on fear and the enslavement of people. Taste freedom. Wake up in your own heart. See how our world works and live it. Wake up to love. Be love. That was what was offered to me through my own experiences. To experience this with others, to experience yourself, to cleanse yourself of fear, to feel and then to create. What I'm describing here is what we are now offering to you, to each and every one of you. We can all choose to continue living in fear of belonging or in the path of humanity and love. Here in this call center, ego is called the truth and love lives. Come and experience loving people. By the way, some of it is not really making sense, right? Like, ego is called the truth, and this is actually kind of something I've noticed a lot, because the cult has a YouTube channel, and I've talked about last time, I think, that sometimes the words they're saying makes zero sense. No sense. It's just like they throw in random buzzwords together and they call it a day. Like, it's not that I'm translating this to you in a bad way. No, it makes zero sense in Czech and in English. Alright. So this was from April 2024. Clearly, the path of love was not what she was promised. She wanted to leave. A few months later, the cult leader did not like that. And after she passed away, the cult leader was posting on YouTube that it's a good thing that Cow passed away. Her boyfriend, Mark, I named him, right? He said that Belinda spoke to the grey hag and she decided that she wants to pass away. Very, very disturbing stuff. And no, just, this is fishy. This is just so fishy. And if I were the police, I would look into these people. And in fact, there is still an investigation ongoing. So here's what happened. find all of them, but he was charged with like threatening state officials, restriction of rights and freedom, and I forgot about the copper spring, I'm so sorry. Threats of massive unaliving, including children. That was a lot. So he was called to court, and the court was supposed to decide if he should be investigated while he's outside or if he should be put to jail. This person, the cult leader, showed up in, I kid you not, a jester costume. Not even a clown costume, a jester costume, like the ones that, jesters had in the past on castles. I can't make this up. The judge saw that, and she decided that he's actually not a threat to society and he can be investigated just roaming free. How? Except for one condition, and that is that he cannot be making YouTube videos anymore. How does this make sense? I don't know. And he actually, he kept that promise for like a couple of weeks only, and then he started posting on YouTube again. So that went against the court, and since then, instead of posting on YouTube, the cult made a Patreon where the membership is $55 a month. $55 a month. And they have about 30 supporters or something, because you can see how many people are supporting them. How, like, are these people just curious because they want to know, like, what's going on inside the cult, or like, why are they giving them so much money? I don't know. Also, he made a video with Mark talking about what's going to happen with the custody of Belinda's daughter, and I've watched the video. It's so disturbing. They're talking about what has happened, and all of a sudden the cult leader just starts to shout curses, and it's just so disturbing. And then, like, for half of the video he's just shouting nonsense. Yeah, I think that it's not available now publicly because of the court. But what confuses me is that he went against the court, so now the court is going to happen. So anyways, that's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry that I forgot about the cup whispering. Yeah, I got too involved in the story and I forgot about it. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.